The Sega CD was an add-on for the Genesis that most people either skipped over or avoided. With its large library of terrible full-motion video games, and games you could already get on cheaper, more popular consoles, I can completely understand. But that's not to say the Sega CD had nothing to offer. In fact, there are at least 10 games on there that could give even some of the more popular consoles a run for their money. So it's time to shine some light on what made the system great and count down the top 10 Sega CD games. If you enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe and turn that notification bell to all so you don't miss the next video. Now let's get started.
Number 10.
The Secret of Monkey Island is one of the greatest point-and-click adventure games of all time. A genre that sported incredible graphics and interaction at the time, point-and-click adventure games oftentimes never got ported to consoles, and when they did, they were usually awful downgrades that sometimes barely even resembled the original product. Thanks to the Sega CD, we were actually able to play this game on our TVs in our bedrooms with its great soundtrack, graphics, and animation. The Secret of Monkey Island is one of the best the genre had to offer, and at the time, this was the only way to play it on home consoles. With all the great mystery, adventure, and atmosphere of any of the computer versions, The Secret of Monkey Island on the Sega CD is a great way to play this legendary game.
Number 9.
Earthworm Jim was a great game on 16-bit platforms, but the Sega CD version to this day is the best version of the game. Adding extra content like the Big Burly stage, which only exists in this special edition version of the game, with remixed CD quality audio, its great soundtrack really shines in this version as well. They added around 1,000 extra frames of animation, which made this game super smooth compared to previous releases. If you loved Earthworm Jim on either the Super NES or the Genesis, and have the itch to replay the game, might as well play the best version, right?
Number 8.
The Genesis never had a lack of great beat-em-ups. Whether it was the Ninja Turtles with Hyperstone Heist or the incredible Streets of Rage series, all your bases were covered if you were a fan of the genre. There was one series that seemed to be a Super NES exclusive, however, and that was the Final Fight series. Not only was the Sega CD the only way to play a Final Fight game for Sega fans, it also happened to be the best home console version of the original Final Fight. Unlike the Super NES version, Final Fight CD had all 3 characters playable, the industrial stage, voice acting for the opening cutscene, the proper arcade stage transitions, a great arranged version of the arcade soundtrack, less censorship than the SNES version, but most importantly, it had 2-player co-op. What's even the point of a beat-em-up game without having multiplayer? Final Fight CD and the other previous entries in this video was the best home console version of the game. So if you're wanting to give it a go, this is the one you'll want to play through with a friend.
Number 7.
I've always been a big fan of the Afterburner series, but it wasn't until recently that I actually got to play Afterburner 3, and it was right here on the Sega CD. I love Afterburner Complete on the Sega 32X, which was a console port of Afterburner 2. I just never got around to playing Afterburner 3, mainly because I didn't even know there was a home console version. First thing I've noticed about the game is that it goes for more of a polygon look as opposed to the classic sprite design of the Tomcat fighter jet. It also prioritizes the cockpit view, which was a bit strange at first, but once you get used to it, it is the superior way to play the game. I had a ton of fun playing Afterburner 3. It's got that fast-paced action that you know and love about the series, but I honestly felt like this third entry was a bit easier than the previous two, which I honestly enjoyed because I could consistently get a bit further each time I played it, instead of getting absolutely destroyed as soon as the third stage starts up in Afterburner Complete. Do I like this better than Afterburner Complete? I honestly don't know. I know I prefer the sprites and ground visuals of Afterburner Complete more, but gameplay-wise and the frame rate seem to be overall better in Afterburner 3, at least to me. If you're a fan of the Afterburner series or looking to get into the games, this is a great entry in the series that even longtime fans such as myself seem to have missed. Due to its slightly milder difficulty curve and better frame rate, this is the best game to start off with in the Afterburner franchise.
Number 6.
Robo Aleste is a fantastic top-down shoot-'em-up that takes place in an alternate universe's Sengoku period in Japan. During the Warring States, they developed these mobile suit-like steam-powered armors that can fly and shoot. This game is like some crazy steampunk retelling of feudal Japan's most well-known and action-packed era. In Robo Aleste, you play as Kageru, or just Kage as most people refer to him. Kage is the last remaining member of Nobunaga's robot ninja army, the White Fang. You pilot the Aleste, which you use to take down the other feudal lords who oppose Nobunaga. In the end, the story gets pretty crazy, with Kage facing off against Astaroth, who's from another dimension. A dimension that was destroyed by Nobunaga himself, leading Kage to turn on his master and take him down. This is a great shoot-'em-up and a pretty damn good story and overall concept. I love mechs as well as steampunk and the feudal Japan setting. You get multiple different power-ups that can each be helpful in different situations. I love all the different enemies and their designs as well. This game is actually a sequel to the incredibly rare Genesis game Musha, so if you enjoyed that, you'll likely love Robo Aleste as well. For being not just a great shoot-'em-up, but containing some great world building, a fantastic story, and just being super fun to play, Robo Aleste battled its way to the number 6 spot on the list.
Number 5.
Now we're getting into my favorite genre. The Sega CD unfortunately isn't well known for its JRPGs, but that is an absolute shame, because the Sega CD had some of the best JRPGs of the 16-bit era. First up on the list is Vi, developed by unknown developer Hertz and published in North America by the renowned Working Designs. Vi tells the story of a nation that's ripped apart by an invading mech army who kidnaps the main character Sandor's bride-to-be, Elin. The story is full of twists and turns, while Sandor and his allies journey to recover the 5 magical orbs and gain access to an ancient powerful mech known only as Vi. This game pulls no punches in both its gameplay as well as its story. I love the slow build-up and how well of a job the game does in making you absolutely despise the main villains. Throughout the entirety of the game, you and your allies are relying on high fantasy weapons and equipment to take on this futuristic army. When you finally get access to Vi, it's time for the tables to turn. Only now can you suit up and lay the absolute smackdown on the enemy that destroyed your nation and took your bride. In some ways, Vi is just a cookie-cutter JRPG, but in others, it's very unique. A lot of people are put off by the game's difficulty, which is understandable. But for someone like me who loves a good grindfest, the difficulty's fine. In fact, I feel like this incredible toughness was an intentional way of showing just how hard it would be to take on an empire of mecha in a medieval fantasy setting. The characters, world, and story of Vi are so well done. This game deserves the number 5 spot on the list and really deserves to get more attention in the JRPG community.
Number 4.
Now to talk about the game that everyone who owns a Sega CD has played, Sonic CD. Sonic CD, much like Sonic 1 and 2 were for the Genesis, was a system seller for the Sega CD. Having more in common with the original Sonic the Hedgehog than its sequel, this game introduced the Super Peel-Out as well as time travel to the series. Dr. Robotnik has taken over Little Planet and chained it to a mountain to use as his new fortress, and it's up to Sonic to stop him and free the planet and its denizens. Sonic is followed by fellow hedgehog Amy Rose, who is kidnapped by Robotnik's latest and most powerful creation, Metal Sonic. In one of the most memorable chase scenes / boss fights of all time, you've got to make it to the Stardust Speedway Zone and race Metal Sonic to the finish line in order to rescue Amy. This was an incredible game, especially for the time. It had really good music, stages, and replay value. In order to travel time, you would have to blast past a sign saying either past or future and travel 88 miles per hour in order to initiate the time jump. The stages themselves are great, but Sonic CD has different versions of each of the stages depending on if you're in the past, present, or future, and preventing Robotnik from taking over Little Planet in the past can actually result in different endings. I absolutely love this game. It even has one of the few special stages that I actually like in the franchise as well. Once impossible to play unless you had the Sega CD add-on yourself, now can be played on pretty much any modern platform. If you love classic Sonic games and missed this one, do yourself a massive favor and check it out.
Number 3.
It's time to talk about some heavy hitters that aren't just good for Sega CD games. These top 3 games could give even most PS1 games a run for their money. Starting with the original version of the original Lunar. Lunar the Silver Star is a JRPG by Game Arts brought to North America by the infamous Working Designs. Lunar tells the tale of a young boy who has to rescue his childhood friend who becomes a pivotal piece in a dark villain's plan to rule 2 worlds. Possibly mistaken as the all-powerful goddess Athena, Alex must adventure across the world, meet new friends, and eventually head to the barren wasteland known as the Frontier to take on the evil Magic Emperor in order to save Luna and the world itself. Lunar has one of the best cast of characters out of any JRPG I've ever played. It also has an amazing world to explore with deep lore and legends. Alex wants to be like his hero, Dragon Master Dyne, who is the greatest hero who ever lived. And after a crazy encounter with a dragon, he learns that he must journey to become the next Dragon Master. From the classic Sega CD style cutscenes to the incredibly well developed characters and world, to the amazing music and songs that are an essential part of the plot, Lunar the Silver Star easily holds the 3rd position on the list.
Number 2.
Hideo Kojima is one of the greatest video game developers of all time, and the only way to play his mega hit Snatcher outside of Japan was on the Sega CD. Snatcher is a dark cyberpunk action-adventure game based around a group of people, or things, that have been taking people and replacing them with Terminator-like clones. The game plays like some sort of visual novel, but with intense light gun action segments. You play as Gillian Seed, a junker whose job it is to investigate the Snatchers and get to the bottom of what's going on in Neo Kobe. The world building and character interactions in this game are like nothing else. In fact, the only game that comes close would be the spiritual successor to Snatcher, Police Knots. The best way to play this game is with a Justifier light gun at your side, with the safety turned on, of course, and a notepad to write down all the information you think might be useful in your investigation. Snatcher does an extremely good job of making you feel like you're in the game. Like the investigation, no, the city and eventually world's safety is solely in your hands. This truly is a game that everyone should experience at least once. Unfortunately, the Sega CD is still the only way to properly play this game outside of Japan. Here's hoping Konami pulls its head out of its ass and at least gives us some sort of a port on modern hardware someday soon. The only real downside to this game is the massive twist at the end, leaving things open for a sequel that ended up as a Japanese radio drama instead of another intense thriller of a video game.
Number 1.
And the greatest game on the Sega CD is none other than Lunar Eternal Blue. The second Lunar game made some massive quality of life adjustments in its gameplay and takes place 1,000 years after the original. Setting out to explore the world and help his new friend Lucia on her journey, you play as Hero the Explorer. Facing off against Althena's Guard and the holy nation of Pentagulia, the odds are stacked against this great cast of characters. When playing through Eternal Blue, I thought there would be no chance it could surpass the Silver Star. As the game went on, I went from thinking it was close to being as good, then thinking it was right on par with it. Then, as the last leg of the game's story approached, I finally had to concede that Eternal Blue somehow managed to be even better than the original. The game drives you to explore its world once again to both help Lucia and see how the world has changed in the past 1,000 years. Many of the locations from the first game still exist, but have changed considerably over the course of time. The new cast ends up somehow being even better than the first as well, a feat I never thought possible. I can't say much more without dropping some nuclear spoiler bombs, so I'll just say this. If you haven't played any of these Lunar games, do whatever you can to experience them. They were originally released on the Sega CD, but were remade for the PlayStation 1, and that is considered to be the best versions of the first two games. Just be sure to avoid Lunar Dragon Song on the DS. We don't talk about Dragon Song. Thank you for taking some time out of your day to relax and check out these great Sega CD gems. The Sega CD is often considered a throwaway, but now you're aware that it was actually capable of some great things. I hope you enjoyed this look at the best of what the add-on had to offer, and if you did, remember to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to be notified when my next video goes up. You can also join in live on Twitch at least 3 nights per week at twitch.tv/Dookie03. Thanks for watching, and have a great rest of your day.